Hey Vikings fans, Tyler here to talk to you about Pick and Shovelware and pickandshovelware.com. T-shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of fun, different Minnesota sports clothing items and apparel options. We got a deal going with them right now where if you buy whatever you want, enter the promo code Bleeding Purple, all one word, and you will get free shipping. That is promo code Bleeding Purple, pickandshovelware.com. Make sure you go ahead and check it out. Okay, let's start the show.
Podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler Haig. I'm joined as always by Mr. Adam Patrick. Adam Patrick is in sunny, warm, lovely California. I am in the garage.
Sunny.
In northeast Minneapolis, where it's a balmy 38 degrees. We had snow over the weekend. It's no big deal. This is what separates us from the rest of the country. So that's...
I haven't seen snow in a very long time. But I saw enough of it during my
your
29 years before I moved. So that was enough.
Oh, it was, it hurt. It cut me deep, and I wasn't ready for it, and winter's here.
Oh, always.
It's horrible.
I remember that first snowfall when you're like, no, not yet.
Yeah. I'm not ready. That's what I was saying.
Especially because it always comes in October.
Yes, always.
Because you're like, oh, maybe we can make it till Halloween and be good. Maybe just till Thanksgiving.
Yes, my birthday is in the middle of November, and that has been my, it's horrible. Right now, I'm like, will there be snow on my birthday? Probably. Maybe. Sometimes there is, sometimes it's always snowing before November.
Yeah, my birthday's in June, so I never had that problem.
God, you just... Well, you can get out of cold weather conversation, pal.
My expectant child is due in December, so he'll have a winter birthday.
I mean, winter birthday, but he'll be in California, so what is winter really there?
Winter birthday, like Chris Farley likes to say.
Do you have a coat? Do you have a long-sleeved zip-up?
No, I have like a pleather coat.
Pleather? No shit.
But it's not like lined with wool or anything. It's got like a fake hoodie inside of it.
Okay.
And then that's probably my warmest jacket. Otherwise, I just have hoodies. It gets chilly. Like I live more up in the mountains, so it can get to be like 40s at night.
I've been to Southern California. I'm not saying I'm super familiar, but I was shocked at how the temperature does that throughout the day.
Yeah.
The closer you get to the ocean, it can really get chilly in
desert. The desert gets like that.
I mean,
it's super cold at night.
Yeah. Yes, that's a great point. I don't know much about deserts, but
in case anyone's wondering, this is a Vikings podcast.
Hey, welcome back to sports.
It's not a weather podcast.
That was the most Minnesotan thing that we could have done, was talk about the weather for the first 5 minutes of the podcast. Hey, welcome back, sports. Vikings win. Who did they play?
Cardinals.
Thank you. I was thinking Rosen that's all I wanted.
Yeah.
The fighting Rosens. Hey, there you go. That's not a bad. He'll be on the team for a while. We can use that again.
I think Rondé Barber called him Sam Rosen a couple times.
Did he?
Yes. That's the announcer's name that he was working with.
Yes.
But that wasn't him on the field.
I was listening to the radio today.
Yeah, you have Mark Rosen out there.
Yes. They were discussing Barber's use of all of the quintessential white boy wide receiver, where he's a lot more athletic than he looks, and about
Zylstra?
certain, not Zylstra.
Oh, okay.
It was what's his name? Adam Thielen.
Oh yeah,
He's been playing very well. I'm not sure if
I've
you've
heard.
heard.
I've heard he's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Did you know he's from Minnesota?
I've heard. I think I might have heard that.
Yep, he is.
I think that he get like a $500 scholarship to college.
It was actually, we don't like, I mean, I don't like correcting people about it, but yeah, it was $250 each semester.
Oh, okay.
That was the scholarship. I mean, a lot of people get that
Did
wrong.
he
but-
sell dental equipment after school before he came
Yeah,
in?
I mean, for a little bit he did, but I mean, we don't have to get into all that detail. He's a pretty good wide receiver, and he's breaking records currently.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting question. Is he the best wide receiver on his own team? Clearly,
Yeah.
he's like statistically playing the best at this point.
Right now?
Yeah.
Are we talking this season? Or
I guess just in general.
I still think Stephon Diggs and him are pretty comparable.
I would
even
agree
if
with that.
even if their statistics are not. I feel like Stephon Diggs usually has probably the tougher matchup out of the two, the defensive backs, because for some reason teams think that it's a good idea to cover one or the other and not both of them.
Do you think that that's a large part of his Thielen's production this season is because defenses are gearing towards Diggs, or do you think it's just like they're playing really well and they're finding?
No, I think Thielen's really, really playing really well because the guys that have been covering Diggs, they haven't, like Patrick Peterson yesterday. He wasn't on him the whole time, but he was on him for most of the time. But Thielen it doesn't really matter who's covering it seems this year. He just finds a way to get open, and he pretty much catches every ball that's thrown to him. So
that's the thing that's been most impressive about him. He just doesn't drop anything. If it's anywhere near him, he catches it.
Faster Chris Carter. I heard Larry Fitzgerald comparison yesterday, at least during the prime of his career. It's kind of comparable. But even Larry Fitzgerald, I don't remember him just being that much of an impact on the offense. I feel like Thielen's just
so
making
explosive.
moving the ship along, like part of that.
Yeah, man.
And
he's
I
good.
might have wrote that he's the best receiver in the NFL this morning.
Whoa, hot take.
Right now.
You
This-
might be
this
right.
season,
I mean,
this season.
yeah.
Who's better than him? Who's better?
I mean, is there anybody statistically better than him?
No.
A couple? No?
Maybe there's a couple of receivers that have more touchdown catches, but he has more catches, more receiving yards.
Yeah.
He does have a bunch of targets, but he's also caught a greater percentage of his targets than guys like DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones and Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
So, and he's on pace to break the single season record for catches in a season. He's on pace to break the Vikings single season record for receiving yards in a season. So
It's crazy.
he's already got his numbers already would probably lead or are similar to the Vikings leading receivers in 2015 and 2014. I think 2015 was Stephon Diggs, and he had like 52 catches, 700 something yards, and Greg Jennings had the similar numbers in 2014, and Thielen already has 58 catches, 700 something yards, 4 touchdowns. He almost already has 1,000 yards
That's ridiculous.
in 6 games. Last year he was the first receiver to have 1,000-yard season since 2009.
That's
and
what
now,
I was just. Weren't we just celebrating the fact
Yeah.
that we had one of those in general because it hasn't
now-
happened in so long?
now he might have 1,000 before their bye.
That's outrageous to put it in that perspective. Is unbelievable. Yeah, he is just he's everywhere. And the thing about it is Kirk Cousins doesn't seem to be. I mean, the emergence of Laquan Treadwell kind of leads us to believe that Cousins just finds the guys that are open. He doesn't really have like a. I'm going to give it to Thielen more. I'm going to give it to Diggs more because they're better. I think he just gives it to the guys that are working their way open, and I think it just happens to be that Diggs and Thielen are always open.
Yeah, most of the time I would think that he tries to get it to everyone, but at the same time I think if he can't find anyone, he's gonna just be like, I'll just throw it to Adam.
He's done it multiple
Thielen.
times this season. So.
Yeah, we're like he's just like, I can't find anyone, and I'll just throw it towards
Yes.
Thielen, and he'll catch it.
Which way is Adam running? That way. And then he gets smashed in the face.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think any of his interceptions this year have been throws to Thielen or like meant to be to Thielen. I don't think there was a Treadwell tip. There was an interception yesterday, which was just he was trying to throw it away. I feel like
He was, yes, and the guy just happened to be there.
yeah. And then I can't remember the other interception. Might have been against the Rams. I can't remember that
Yeah,
one.
what was the other one? Maybe that was another tip. I can't remember. But he's done a good job of not turning the ball over, and I think that's very, very important for this team. Were you impressed with the rushing attack?
Yeah. I mean,
You have to be a little bit impressed because of
they almost
how
had
bad
200
it was.
yards.
Yeah, and comparing that to what we've seen in previous weeks, huge improvement. Do you think that they have something figured out, or do you think that Arizona maybe is just that bad at stopping the run?
Arizona is really bad at stopping the run this year. So that's a big factor. But at the same time, they got Elflein back in there.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really good run blocker. They've got Reimers is an underrated run blocker. Even Brian O'Neill, he's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
And even Tom Compton, he's been able to get downfield and make some key blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Rashad Hill is a different story. But yeah, I think you just have to be happy with a performance like that. Those sometimes have the Vikings sometimes play down to their opponents and aren't able to capitalize on the weaknesses like that. And I think yesterday they, made sure that they did that and it worked.
Yes.
So.
I think Vikings fans are always very quick to identify when the team looks really bad, but they're not always quick to identify when they actually look like a really good team. And that was this week. This is what good teams do. They beat Arizona's and they beat them handily, and it's not that close, and they look better in the areas that they need to look better in because the team is not as good. I mean, that's what good teams do.
Yeah, and people have to remember, that's a blow. Yesterday's game, that's like a blowout for the Vikings.
It is, yes.
They're not going to win 40-3. They're not going to do that.
It won't happen. And
yesterday is exactly the type of game that they probably wanted. They played well on both sides of the ball.
We're comfortable
they had some,
the whole time.
Yeah. Special teams was really good.
Yes. Let's talk a little bit about this punter. Let's talk a little bit about this punter.
He had a good punt. Some good punts yesterday.
He was much better yesterday than he has been.
It's like his protection's gotten better.
Yes. And kickers making kicks. Did Bailey miss? I don't think he missed any, did he?
No. He made all his kicks.
I mean, you can't go wrong there. Not exactly many pressure-filled situations for either of those gentlemen as far as their kicks were concerned, but that is also okay, too. It's okay to win a game where you don't need to have a kick that's very important. I'm fine with that.
Did Weil have a kick? I feel like he had a kick in the Vikings end zone. I feel like he had one of his kicks was deep in
one was deep in their territory, and it was a pretty good kick. He had one not so good kick, but it wasn't the way the field was set up, where it wasn't the end of the world. It just wasn't a great.
I remember the Cardinals having some pretty good field position earlier in the early part of the game, and not so much in the second half.
As far as the offensive line is concerned, you talked a little bit about Hill, maybe not so much on the performance. And first of all, I guess my question is, what happened to Mr. Jones? Can he come back and hang out again? Is this something that we should maybe think about? New guy, center dude who Brett. Not Mike Jones. Yeah, I was going to get Mike Jones. Who? Mike Brett Jones. So I was going to say Mike Jones. I knew that. Yeah.
Still tipping.
That's right. I don't know. Is Hill bad enough to warrant being sat down for another reshuffling? I hesitate because I feel like continuity is important. But if he's the weak link,
I think Riley Reif should, when he's healthy, he should take over at left tackle, and Rashad Hill should sit on the bench. I think Brian O'Neill has done enough to be like, hey, I'm either the same skill level as Rashad Hill or even maybe a little better.
Yeah.
So, and I have actual potential.
Younger. Cheaper.
Whereas I haven't seen Hill progress really in the time that he's been with the Vikings.
He's just kind of been that, and which is okay. But as the team continues to get better, we're going to need him to play better, and it's not looking so awesome right now. I have been very impressed with O'Neal. I was expecting kind of a disaster. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, because he's a so-called project out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And we know how those go here.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was panicky about it. I'm glad it's working out the way it is. Do you think that this offensive line is capable of taking this football team deep into the playoffs? I don't know if they are.
The offensive line is capable?
Offensive line. Do you think that the offensive line will be the reason?
Not by themselves. They need a quarterback and running back.
Come on, Adam. Answer the question.
I think they can if they're able to get their running game on a more consistent, productive basis. I think that going into the playoffs will be easier. Obviously that means Dalvin Cook's got to come back sometime soon. I don't know when that'll be or when he should come back. He was supposed to play on Sunday, and all the reports indicated that he was going to play on Sunday, but then he had maybe a setback in his pregame warm-up, which I'm just like, well, just don't play if you're not. Don't. Yeah. And then he was going to be on a pitch count, which I'm like.
That was the thing that weirded me out because it was like he was so close to playing that you knew how many plays he was going to be allowed to play for, but then he didn't wind up playing in the game. What is going on here?
Yeah, does he need if he needs more time, give him more time. The Vikings are not desperate right now. They're not going against an amazing rush defense next week against the Jets or even the Saints.
No, and honestly, man, at this point, even if you were going against the best rushing defense, just sit him down until he gets healthy, because this in and out and maybe not. It's the season's going to be 3/4 of the way over before he even gets going. And
the only thing I worry about,
what's he going to do for you?
The only thing I worry about is him when he does come back, DiFilippo getting confused or maybe trying to get him the ball too much and kind of maybe ruining the kind of flow that he's been building up over the last couple of weeks.
Dope.
But I mean, at the same time, it's Dalvin Cook and he's a lot better option than Latavius Murray, so you can't be mad that a guy who's a better option for you is ready to play too. So.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you can't be disappointed in that. I do think though that I think that's a very real concern, because if you're looking at what he had done as far as Dalvin Cook and his workload is concerned in the games leading up to this hamstring issue, I mean, he had a lot of touches. He did have touches for a guy coming off an ACL surgery, and I don't know. And now his hamstring hurts, and they're going to just feed him the ball again. He's going to have a hamstring injury again. He's going to be injury prone. He's going to be a bust, and we're going to have to get rid of him.
Well, it's better than a torn ACL.
I mean, I guess so. Speaking of torn ACLs, Mike Hughes has torn his ACL. On
the same 27-yard line that Dalvin Cook tore his ACL on last year.
Didn't know that. That's awful. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Mm-hmm. That totally threw me for a loop. It's fate. It's Viking fandom is a flat
just get rid of just get rid of that yard line.
God, it always comes back around.
Apparently, it's a little raised, probably on the turf. So.
No kidding. It's a It's a booby trap, is what it is. The booby trap. I can't.
Mike Hughes got hurt. His knee.
The ankle thing. You said you had heard it was an ankle.
Yeah.
He did roll his ankle, sprain his ankle earlier in the game, came back, and that was when the knee injury happened. So nobody was wrong there. I just wanted to clarify. You did not get bunk information from whomever sent you that information. That was true and actually happened.
You broke it live during our reaction show yesterday. So
I mean, it's what I do is break news. But yeah, you're right. I did read what Bleacher Report had sent me on my telephone live on the internet. So Bleeding Purple Podcast here for all your breaking news.
Just another top, draft pick going down with an ACL injury in his first season. It's great.
Do you think are ACL tears this common now, where you can have this like nobody's batting an eye at this being like back-to-back first-round picks tearing their ACLs? Are we seeing an issue here with the training staff? Is there something?
I think they're more.
Is this like a pec injury because of weightlifting, like we've seen before?
No, not like that. But I think they're more prevalent around in the NFL because I feel like I don't know how to. Players they don't practice as much as they used to, and that makes the body tighten up.
Yes, less tackling during those practices as well, less contact. Yeah,
they're probably not going full speed during practice.
It winds up almost working in reverse because you think you're not getting hit as much and it's helping you, but the reality of it is you're getting hurt more often.
Yeah,
because
you go in the game and you're going at full speed and you take a cut and then your knee's like, hey, we haven't done this before. What are you doing?
Yeah, why are you doing this? And then kablow on the 27-yard line.
Some of the off-season stuff where guys just like train on their own and you don't really know what they're doing or what focusing on can have something to do with that too. I just think and actually the playing surface too. Yeah. Playing on turf, I feel like a lot of these injuries have occurred on turf fields.
And you have the majority of stadiums now are that like artificial turfy stuff, and that's going up. I mean, that would not be the craziest thing to assume that there is a correlation there.
It's easier to make, but then you have stuff like the Redskins field too. So
yeah.
Which is just garbage.
Yeah. So. Just garbage. Who, as far as Hughes is concerned, who steps up? How does the Vikings secondary go forward? I mean, I think they'll be okay, right? They'll be okay. But which are you thinking, is this Mackenzie Alexander stepping into that role, or do you think where do you think they're going?
It was his role technically already
previously, right? Yeah.
So I don't expect much to change. They'll probably use more packages with Jaron Curse out there to just be able to mix things up, and Anthony Harris too. That's what they did yesterday.
Anyways. That's what I was just going to say. Harris played a ton yesterday.
And Iloka could probably, even when Sendejo comes back, Iloka could probably get a bunch of playing time in there too. Maybe Holton Hill. He hasn't. I don't think he's really worked in the slot that much, but he could, take up some playing time for some guys on the outside and maybe move some other guys on the inside. So and this is a team coached by Mike Zimmer, whose strength is defensive back. So an injury to a defensive back is not the biggest worry in the world. It sucks for Mike Hughes. He was good. He's a good rookie. Mike Zimmer loved him. He never gives praise to like rookie defensive backs, and he never stopped praising him this year. So but at the same time, he's young. He's a rookie, so he's got the rest of his career ahead of him. Hopefully, it's not a thing or whatever. I'm not sure if he's torn his ACL before in his career.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't think he has. It's just maybe next year, 6 weeks into the year, we'll just be wondering if Mike Hughes is going to play because he's dealing with a hamstring injury. So.
Yeah, for real, probably. That's most likely what's going to happen. I mean, I'm already panicked about it. No, it's a huge bummer that it's just too bad that a guy that had been playing that well and been getting that kind of treatment from Zimmer.
Yeah, still have Xavier Rhodes, still have Trey Wayne, still have Harrison Smith.
Honestly, I think that's my big concern is if Waynes or Xavier Rhodes get hurt for any length of time, that secondary, cornerback specifically, all of a sudden becomes really thin and really inexperienced.
Because
that kind of freaks me out, man.
Hughes filled in for Waynes last week against the Eagles, and he did pretty well.
Yes, he did. And Waynes, as we know, kind of has a little bit of an injury history himself. Rhodes also, although he doesn't miss a lot of games, he's always off the field. Yeah, he's always getting hurt for a hot minute and coming back.
Whenever the other team is driving down the field, all of a sudden, I'm cramping.
Yeah, I'm cramping. And then he's off the field, and then they go to that guy, and it's a touchdown. It's all the time, and it drives me crazy. Okay. Well, get better soon, Mike Hughes.
Back to the offensive line real quick. I was looking up some stuff before we we recorded, and Kirk Cousins this year has actually had more time to throw in the pocket than Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers. So as bad as some people think the offensive line is, it could be worse.
Yeah, definitely it could be.
And those guys have still been able to be pretty successful with the less time in the pocket.
I think that DiFilippo has done a good job the last couple of weeks in finding ways to help his offensive line through play calling and different little tricks. That
not as much. I feel like not as much like direct, just normal play action, like more of fake jet sweeps or fake tosses.
Yes.
And
can I talk to you can I have a real quick second here?
Yeah.
The naked bootleg, right? We saw it a lot in the preseason. I just cannot handle that play anymore. It drives me nuts because it always is Kirk Cousins right staring at a monster who's running at him. And Kirk Cousins doesn't hang on to the ball well enough, we're seeing, for that to be a viable, please. Well, we know they listen.
Gloves?
We know they're listening, so please, Vikings coaching staff, stop doing the naked bootlegs.
Would gloves help him out, you think? Maybe holding on to the ball?
It would probably help him in the eyes of the fans. I think the fans would maybe like him more. Can he switch his number to 5?
Yeah, Teddy never fumbled, and he wears gloves. Mm-mm. Teddy also never, had the highest deep passer rating in the NFL through 6 games.
Never threw for this many yards in his life.
No.
Already. I think Teddy's going to be good, but
yeah,
I do think Kirk would be more liked if he wore gloves. I'll just say it. I'll say it out loud. I just think that's
one. Well,
two.
Has to be two gloves, or one on his non-throwing hand. Because I feel like
do that. No, I'm not interested in that. And Kirk Cousins is probably the kind of guy who would wear his wedding ring on the outside of his glove.
Why? What gives you that vibe?
It's always there, man. It's
always dancing.
There. Yeah. Yes, the dancing. Let's talk about the dancing. First of all, what do you think of the dead arm move? Now that you've had a day, an evening, 24 hours to kind of digest it, watch more video of it. Where are you at with it, Adam? What do you think of it?
It's unique.
Great way.
Sure.
Great way to put it.
It's different.
Am I doing it? Is this right?
I don't know. I don't know what's right and what's wrong anymore.
It's all wrong. The whole thing is wrong.
But I just know as soon as I saw Kirk Cousins just doing it, doing the Diggs dance, so it's like it's not cool anymore. Like no matter what.
Yeah, we've definitely jumped the shark with it. That's for sure. I will say the more I watch it, the funnier it becomes to me. I think it gets worse and worse every time I see it. More
big time, like an embarrassing dad dance.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Big vibes.
Totally.
Big vibes.
Real good. Yeah. 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 Yes. All those things. Where do you think it came from? Is it just a goofy Kirk Cousins dance? I've heard Fortnite as well. I'm not a Fortnite guy. It might shock you.
Well, Adam Thielen's wife actually tweeted about it.
Oh, really?
She said that it's the dead arm dance, and that it originated. Well, not originated, I guess, but they used to do that at Mankato State.
You're kidding.
Yeah, so it came from Thielen.
Oh, dude, the dance is one of us. Now it just leapt up like 5 spots in my
So this is just the thing that Thielen is passing along to Diggs.
That Thielen, he's such a good guy. That's like he gives and he gives and he gives, and then in his spare time he catches more touchdown and yards than everybody. So he just
he's got another kid on the way too.
He's selfless. He's selfless, and I think that we should make a statue of him.
Already? Wow.
Just me and you.
Just us?
Just the two of us. Just for the podcast.
Okay.
Okay, dead arm dance. That's I'm a big fan. Now I like it even more because it's from Minnesota.
I feel like they should. Well, if they're gonna do it, I feel like they should do it just for every celebration now, just so it'd be like the new skull chant. Just
that's
everyone
where I'm at with it.
everyone in the stands would just start doing it.
I'm so glad you brought up the skull chant because I haven't heard it in a little while.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer got pissed yesterday because they only did it like 2 times. He's like,
What?
Who's ever doing that skull chant? You need to do it way more than 2 times in a game.
You're kidding
he said
me.
that. He said that during his presser. He's like, we need to do who's ever in charge of that. You need to do that way more. No, he did.
And there's like one intern like, oh God, Zimmer.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Man, that's incredible. I had no idea. So I wasn't wrong, and Mike Zimmer noticed too. And God, man.
He's like, we got this weapon. We got to use it.
The skull chant is a weapon. I mean, it's definitely been weaponized a lot of times against us, but
yeah.
but yeah, that's something, dude. And now the dead arm dance, we're just in Duck Duck Grey Duck. It just,
Dr. Goose, huh?
Okay. Moving on. What else do we want to talk about from the game? Danielle Hunter also is.
Oh yeah.
He's incredible. I was worried when the Griffin thing happened and it was pretty apparent that he was going to be missing a fair amount of time. Mm-hmm. I was concerned that the defensive line wasn't going to be as scary. And I mean, it probably isn't as scary.
Yeah, well, they have 30 pressures in the first game.
But Hunter is very scary. Weatherly has been so impressive. Sheldon Richardson has been so good. But Hunter, he's like a level above. That dude
and
is
they've been, I feel like the Vikings have been blitzing more past 2 games.
Yes.
Like they've been sending more guys after the quarterback. Like Harrison Smith had a sack yesterday. Mackenzie Alexander had another sack.
Mm-hmm.
They sent just a bunch of guys like right up the middle that didn't even get blocked.
Could you imagine being a quarterback trying to get the snap when literally everybody on the defense is right on top of you and you just like, who's gonna
when Anthony Barr is the least scariest of the guys rushing in?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, and Anthony Barr is the least scary option that you're seeing in front of you from these guys. Oh, I feel bad for those dudes. And then every now and then it's Hunter that comes out of that.
Yeah, he's been doing good on the right side since Griffin has been out. He's switched to the right side and it's been good. I think he's 3rd in the league, like among edge rushers and pressures this year. And he's got 7 sacks already. I think he's had a sack in every game.
Yeah, he's just unbelievable. He treats people like rag dolls. He's like one of those like scary strong.
Just another great contract by the Vikings.
Viva La Brzezinski.
They're like, oh, you only had like 6 sacks last year. Let's get you that extension right now.
We would like you to sign this.
Yeah.
Hey, great season, Adam Thielen 3 years ago. We'd love to pay you real quick here.
Do you know what Adam Thielen's cap hit is this year?
$2 million. I don't know what it is.
It's like 3.8.
Oh man, I
3.8.
3.8 for the history making
for the
one of us from
receiver in the
Detroit
NFL.
Lakes, who also is responsible for the dead arm dance. I mean,
that should be a bonus in itself.
For real. Pay the man. The dead arm dance bonus. So coming up next is the Jets.
Yep.
Does this feel, it's in New York, correct?
Yeah.
Does it feel like a trap game? Does it feel like a game that they think they're going to win by a lot and they won't? Or,
I don't know. The Vikings have played well on the road this year.
And it's a high enough profile maybe where it's not as big of a concern because like Buffalo kind of flies under the radar. It's like, they're bad.
No, they're
like,
3-3.
Going to New York feels like a bigger deal for.
They beat the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Colts. And who else did they beat?
Oh, I had this on my.
They lost. I know they lost to the Browns. They gave the Browns their first win in 2 years or whatever.
They did. And who did they? They were up by a lot
Lost the
on
Dolphins.
somebody.
Great podcast.
Awesome radio right now. Just Google Jets. Hopefully that gets us where we're
Did
trying to go.
Did they play the Patriots yet?
I don't believe so.
Well,
here we go. Internet is happening. Denver, they beat.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, they
lost
had like
to Jacksonville,
rushing.
lost to Cleveland, lost to Miami, and beat the Lions by a lot. That's the one I was thinking of. They killed the Lions.
So it seems like they struggle against good defenses because they lost to the Browns and they lost to the Jaguars. The Dolphins' defense is all right this year. They have a good pass rush.
How much did they score? Under 20 for all of their losses.
Yeah, and they didn't. But their defense, it's not like the greatest this year. But they forced, I think, they forced 15 turnovers.
I was interested in what they were looking like from a rushing defense standpoint because I was trying to figure out if the Vikings were going to be able to replicate that type of production from a Latavius
they're not amazing.
No, they're not. They give up like 100 yards a game, which is like 19th. Yeah. So it's like meh. I think it'll be a good test for the Vikings to see how good their rushing offense is because if they can move the ball and do well against this defense, that should be worth noting,
I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who's going to cover Thielen and Diggs.
Yeah.
I know they have Tremaine Johnson, but he didn't play this week. I don't know if he'll play on Sunday. So, but either way, somebody has to not cover Diggs or Thielen.
Mm-hmm. They have to make a choice, and then
or Treadwell.
Or Treadwell. On top of all of these wonderful options, Thielen, Diggs, Rudolph. Treadwell is catching passes, running dudes over.
Hasn't had a drop since L.A., I feel like.
I've said it a few times since it happened, so I'm not sure if I said it on here or on our live whatever review thing after the game. But Laquan Treadwell catching that pass, running a guy over, and then getting the first down was like eye-opening for me.
That's what they got him for.
That's what they are seeing. I have not ever seen that. I don't see that Laquan Treadwell. They have been seeing that in practice. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I wouldn't cut that guy.
Right.
I cut all the rest of the game stuff that I've seen. That guy I want to cut. That guy. Yeah. Okay, now I get why you keep him. Because I've been hard on him. I've been kind of hard on Laquan.
No, wow, you're like the only one.
Get rid of him. But
like
one play, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Jury's still out on him, I think. I think Kirk Cousins obviously is helping him out because he's actually
a ton
throwing more passes and just looking for everybody. Mm-hmm. And he seems to like throwing to Treadwell, at least a couple times a game. But I don't know on him yet. Just not sold. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm definitely not sold. That was the first time I had seen the reason they were keeping him.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, okay, now it finally makes sense. Real quick before I forget, the cornerback situation, Mike Hughes, injury, gonna need guys. Patrick Peterson, all of a sudden on the trading block.
Who are you trading?
Him, bam.
Oh, yeah, straight up?
Yep, straight up. Maybe throw in a 6th rounder for him.
Yeah, the Cardinals would do that, no problem.
I mean, what do they got to lose? They're just trying to cut dead weight. They're in the roster turnover section.
Patrick Peterson is like a 2 first-round pick kind of guy, like Khalil Mack.
Whoa. Yeah. There's only one of those guys, and it's Khalil Mack. Okay. Who, by the way, looked amazing this week. Did you see this? Like the worst PFF grade. It was the worst game of his career, according to Pro Football Focus. Khalil Mack.
Oh yeah.
He just didn't really do anything. I don't know.
80.
Yeah, I mean, that's not important. It was his worst game, Adam. It doesn't matter if he was good or not.
Oh well, the Raiders are trying to get a first-round pick for Amari Cooper, so he's worth that too.
Yeah. What is John Gruden doing? Okay. Back to the Jets.
And then they'll trade him away and be like, it's hard to find a good pass catcher these days.
I can't believe he said that. That to me was the cherry on top of the whole thing. It's just pass rushers are hard to find.
Oh, really?
Are they? You got 2 first-round picks. That should tell you that, yeah, they are. They're really hard to find, especially ones that are that good. Back to the Jets. I feel like the Vikings should win this game.
Yeah.
The Bills game makes me never confident again. I think it's going to be close.
I think
it's like
close.
A field goal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what Vegas thinks too. But, this That's usually what they think. I don't know. Is there a chance that they could win this game like handily? Like, could this be a 14-21, or do you expect the Jets' offense to perform well enough to keep them in it? I mean, they only have to score a couple 3 touchdowns.
I think it's a rookie quarterback again.
Yep.
With Sam Darnold. He's thrown some pretty good passes this year, especially downfield. At the same time, he's thrown some dumb interceptions too. And I think what the Vikings were able to do on defense this week against the Cardinals, throwing Josh Rosen like a bunch of different looks with so many packages on the field and blitz packages and stuff like that. I think that's probably a similar, strategy the Vikings are going to have this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if, the Vikings got a pick 6 or something like that this week, or if Linval Joseph, intercepts another pass to take it all the way downfield.
I would love
But
it.
yeah, I think it'll be probably closer. But then, maybe it'll be a blowout. But I think it'll be close.
Yeah, well, and like we said before, there's not really going to be any blowout, but I could definitely see him winning by a couple of scores. I just
favored by 3.
Favored by 3. Okay.
So yeah, Vegas thinks it's going to be close too.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of that's Darnold, right? Sammy Darnold in New York. Haven't watched a ton of him playing in the NFL. But he definitely, from college and what I've seen of him, he knows how to run an offense. And with guys like that, I mean, there's always a chance that he can score enough to keep you in the football game.
I think he's playing more like a normal rookie quarterback than like some of the guys we've seen come in and just light it up. I think he's just a normal, making rookie mistakes and having some bright spots. But, at the same time, he's going to have times out there where he looks like he's, chicken with his head cut off running around.
Definitely. And I think that, to me, is what is going to be the difference in the game, is the Vikings defense and Mike Zimmer's scheming and messing with rookie quarterback. I think that's it. I think that's why they win. Real easy way for the Vikings to lose, though, is to not protect Kirk Cousins and let him fumble and then give them short field.
He fumbles?
I mean, not a lot, because he's going to start wearing the gloves.
Every game.
But, yeah. Yeah, how many does he have? Is it like 7, 6, 7?
5, I think. 5 fumbles. I think I heard today that he has as many turnovers already that Case Keenum had last year, total.
Yeah, that's not good. Speaking of Keenum.
But Case Keenum already has as many interceptions this year as he had last year. So, I think he's what did he get? Did he get benched yesterday? No, he came out for a little bit because he got hit pretty hard.
Yes, and his coach had to go, like, in the post-game presser.
He's our quarterback.
Yeah, had to announce it, which is never
always good.
Never good.
But we already knew that because he's their guy.
Well, it was obvious when they signed Chase in the offseason that they knew exactly what they were getting into and were very happy, and he was their definite number 1 choice.
Vikings should have kept him, though, right?
A lot of people think that way, Adam. A lot of people think that way. Real quick about that whole quarterback debacle and Chase Keenum. And did you see Brock Osweiler?
Yeah.
We are supposed to be so worried about the Bears and their back, and Khalil Mack is a bomb. Brock Osweiler just fed you lunch, bub.
Yeah, a lot of his yards were short passes, and then his receivers ran 75 yards for a touchdown. So I'm not going to give him a ton of credit, but he didn't lose the game for them.
Yeah,
because he had like a check down pass that went for a 75-yard touchdown, and another that went for like a 60-yard touchdown.
Osweiler being Osweiler, bro. He's a millionaire because of plays like that, dude.
Brock Lobster.
Brock Lobster. I don't know if I believe in Chicago. I don't know if I think they're going to be. I think they're just going to and disappear into.
They had 2 weeks to prepare for the Dolphins, and you look like that.
And Osweiler, not Tannehill, Brock Osweiler, and you wound up losing. Well, and we should give credit where credit is due. The Bears played well enough to win, but their kicker missed in overtime. And I know what that's like.
I mean, they got really lucky when the Dolphins player fumbled on the goal line.
They did.
So,
yeah.
And then they couldn't,
Here's
capitalize.
Big time philosophical question for you. Fumble on the goal line. Is that the defense being good and taking the ball away, or is that the offense screwing it up and giving them the ball on the goal line? I mean, depending on which guy's announcing.
I think a Bears defender hit the ball, knocked it loose. So that's on the defense.
I mean, it was probably fate. That was probably what it was.
But then the Dolphins won.
And the Dolphins won. And that makes the Vikings are a half game behind the Bears now because of the tie, which I secretly was a little bit hoping for during that game, because that would have just made things nice and even, And the Bears would have a tie, we'd have a tie, Green Bay would have a tie.
Just need the Lions.
Feel right.
Just Lions would be the last team left.
Yeah.
Just need to get a tie.
And they could get one. I mean, we've seen
that
before. So,
yeah.
Do you have a prediction for the Jets game? Would you like to make a prediction?
Sure.
You have to.
Since Mike Zimmer likes to, get 21 points. It's an automatic win. So we'll go 23-18.
23-18. I'm going to go 28-14. And I'm probably going to be right. The Vikings are going to win. And also, quick prediction, 1 dead arm dance.
By the Vikings or the Jets?
By the Vikings.
I could see the Jets picking up.
Don't give them any ideas, Adam. See, this is how the Skull Chant was weaponized and used against us.
That's just Philly fans.
Do you remember them saying Foles? It was just twisting the knife every time they did it. The Skull Chant with Foles.
No, I forgot. I've blocked it out.
Yeah, I know.
All I know is
those memories are gone now.
Week 5, 23-21. That's all I remember.
What up?
That's all I remember. That was last year. We don't
Yeah, we don't live in the past here.
Harrison Smith actually got pissed yesterday after
Move forward.
the game at reporters asking him, if the defense is getting back to how they were last year, and he's like, I'm getting pretty tired of people asking me if the defense is getting back to
what it
where
was like last
where
season.
They were. I mean, this is a new season, different defense.
Yeah, and it really.
I was like, that was the first time I've ever seen him get angry. I'm like,
sloppy.
Yeah, but I mean, he has a point. It's different. There's a lot of different players on their defense playing this year, and to expect them to be exactly the same as they were last year is a little ridiculous.
It is a little bit ridiculous, and not that I condone athletes being turds because they don't like the question, even though it's a good question. But he's got, of all the years, this is probably the best year for him to be like, come on. It's a different group.
Unless you're Odell Beckham, criticizing your quarterback, then I condone it, because no one else comes out and says that stuff, but he does, and he gets ridiculed.
Dude, Eli, what a conundrum! What do you do there if you're ownership or head coach or whatever?
You're Pat Shurmur.
You got to get him out of there. But how do you gracefully get Eli?
They're drafting a quarterback for sure.
But he's got to. Is he going to retire? Are you going to bench him before the season next year? Are you going to bench him this season? I mean, you might have to.
Cut him.
Yeah.
They
won't like that. He's won 2 Super Bowls, Adam.
He
deserves more respect than that.
Yeah, he won.
He deserves more respect than that.
Yeah.
It's the most asinine argument in football to me, is that Eli
Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl too.
That's what I'm saying. That Eli deserves better treatment because he's
Flacco won a Super Bowl.
And it's like
Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, how come we weren't afraid to bench Brad Johnson? Eli Manning.
Because he was on the Buccaneers.
Yeah, because he wasn't in New York and people didn't care. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, no. And then I saw you see that thread that was saying how Adam Thielen never has any outbursts or whatever, like Odell Beckham, and then the thread of all of Thielen's getting mad at refs or whatever and like throwing hissy fits and yeah, I understand that, but Thielen's not, kicking nets and throwing them all over the field and punching air conditioning fans.
Yes. I think the biggest difference between those two
and this is me saying this as a fan of Odell Beckham.
Yeah.
I love watching him on the field.
I think the biggest difference between those two things is Thielen was screaming and freaking out on his way off in every one of the videos I saw, and Odell's freakouts were on the sideline during while the rest of the game was going on over there.
And Thielen's not gonna, be like, yeah, my quarterback could throw me the ball a little more.
Yeah.
But
well, yeah, I mean, of course he's not going to do that, but I think
even
Odell Beckham.
I don't even. Yeah, I don't even
every
think,
right to say that.
Yeah, I don't even think Stephon Diggs would say that though. But at the same time, they've got a quarterback who is throwing them the ball down the field and stuff. And
yeah,
Odell Beckham just signed a giant contract to be like, hey, I want to stay here and be in New York, and I got to play with this, piece of garbage behind the offensive line. And then they have Saquon Barkley and just wasting him away. And then people get mad that Beckham comes out and like says something like for once instead of giving the normal player cliche, and people are always like, oh, players never say anything, and then
I think is the thing that bothers
someone
me the
does
most is when somebody gives you an answer you want, you're like, whoa, you can't answer it like that. You just answer it in cliches. But if he gave you the cliches, you'd hate it. And the same thing, like if he doesn't have outbursts, you say he's not passionate enough. He doesn't care enough. Like Jay Cutler, there was no outbursts there. Everybody hated it. They thought it was horrible. His performance.
The only problem I had with that Beckham interview was just Lil Wayne just randomly sitting next to him for like no reason. He didn't even say. He said like nothing.
Without a doubt, my favorite part. That Wheezy was just right there.
It's just there.
It's Lil Wayne here. I just wanted
to sit next to him.
Maybe there was a separate interview with just Lil Wayne that we didn't see.
Well, they're both from New Orleans, so that's their connection.
So that's why we sit next to each other in interviews.
Well, and Lil Wayne had his new album come out, so he just wanted to be like, I'll sit next to.
Yeah, you honestly, that's probably the reason is because he's promoting his record. Yeah. I'll sit next to him.
And people will probably be like, oh, why is Lil Wayne in the interview? And they'll be like, oh, because he has a new album out, and then cha-ching.
Have you heard that, the Carter 5?
No,
it's not. I mean, I've heard it a little bit, but I'm in a Carter 3 phase right now. So
I don't think I've ever listened to any of his albums in full.
Me neither until about a month ago, and I heard one of his tunes on the radio, and I was like, ooh.
On the radio?
On the radio. Because there's a cool hip-hop station in Minneapolis. We got a lot of culture here, Adam. I'm not sure
were any of the words included, or were they all just bleeped out?
There were...
Every other word?
It was very close. The hook of the song has the B word in it. So, yeah, when I got to Spotify, once I was done driving, it was a very different tune than I was, ready for. Or
Brillo
expecting. Pad? It was, yes, Brillo pad was the word. It was bleeped out. But, yeah, man, Lil Wayne. God, this has been all over the place today. A lot of, Lil Wayne. We talked a lot about the weather. It's
what we do.
High-quality podcasting.
Vikings-centric. But we're not afraid to branch out.
I mean, we do whatever here. We do whatever. We there's no topic that. No, I'm not going to say. It's
off limits.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's off limits, but there's definitely stuff I don't want to talk about.
Yeah. No, like we talking about any Supreme Court hearings in here or anything.
Not interested in those kinds of conversations.
No.
But I am interested in doing a little dead arm dance. That's how we do. All right. Is there anything else you would like to mention? You're very good at it, by the way. For everybody listening.
You gotta do the bounce. Yeah.
Oh yeah. God, you're totally right. I didn't have bounce. I'll tell you what, I'd be a much better dancer if I was always watching a video of me dancing. So that's why they always have the mirrors in the dancing places, huh? The dance studios? That's what
yeah.
Bleeding Purple Podcast, helping you learn stuff every single episode. That's all we do, man. So what have we learned today? Adam Thielen is selfless, from Detroit Lakes, and cool. What is that? Look at that.
Viking Sugar Skull.
Oh,
it's good for the listening audience to see.
It's I'm not gonna try and describe it. Okay, all right, bud. I will see you next week.
Yeah.
Immediately following the game for our live review thing.
Reaction.
What is our reaction thing?
Reaction.
I was like, what do we call it? Reaction.
Reaction.
Live reaction video.
Bye.
We'll do it live. All right, bud. I'll see you after the game.
Cool.
Let's go, Vikes.